Good day to all of you. Some of you have followed my Facebook that actually I have conducted a talk regarding the latest two news that caught our eyes and attention. Of course, the first thing is the political uncertainties, and the second one is the coronavirus. Now it's called Covid-19. And after I posted the content about the class, actually there are quite a number of people requested for live. We couldn't do it that day because there was some technical error, and I also feel that it's better to address the audience directly here through this format instead of when I was addressing to the live audience. So some of the people who requested, you can see here, we have medical doctor come property doctor as well. And we also have a request coming from Malaysian #1 Facebook marketing guru. We also have a East Malaysia land deal maker, as well as a self-made woman property millionaire. So I think, just like everybody is eager to find out what now or what next to move forwards, especially from a property point of view. So stay tuned, we'll come back very soon. Welcome back, everyone. Today we will be doing a question and answer format. I think the question asked that we have picked represent most of, actually majority of Malaysians' situation now and the things they're eager to know moving from now onwards. Of course, the question first taken is actually from Penang by the name of Adrian. Adrian asked this question. The past 10 days, political uncertainties make me fed up, angry and disappointed. Is it the end or what's next? So I think to answer your question is not that simple, but to go over the development of the events, I think everybody knows that our Agong has appointed our Prime Minister, Tan Sri Muhyiddin, and also at the moment, certain things has confirmed, but there's also other events people are following up. For example, I give you the example. For example, the first one is if the other camp has made a public announcement, they have actually the majority to form the coalition and form the government, they actually have to present this in the parliament. The original date was scheduled on 9th March. Original date is actually next week. But the news just came in today. The Speaker of the House, they actually have postponed the sitting to 18 May. So they were looking at another more than 2 months later. So the development of this event actually is kind of expected, but it has just been confirmed this morning. And of course, what it means, Adrian, is this will actually give more edge to the ruling party as reported. So more advantage, more edge will be given to the ruling party now so that they can actually have more time to gather and garner more votes when the parliament reopens in May. So there's one thing we are following up the event. Of course, the second one, other than the federal, they have changed. There are also different alliances formed before the change of government and after this. So we are seeing potential, other than the federal government side, also a state government side, with the change of government. The first one that we are seeing a very imminent is Malacca. And of course, the next one and the third one we are looking at is actually the state of Perak as well as the state of Kedah. Of course, Kedah is very obvious because it's helmed by the son of Tun M, Dato' Mukri. So what happened, all the events while we are still not 100%, the dust has not 100% settled. The important thing, the major thing, the PM candidate has confirmed. He already punched the card on Monday. And with this, it actually gives some assurance and clarity to the market. Even though this is a surprise twist, but the takeover is actually rather smooth. The transition is rather smooth. And we are looking at least for the next 2 months the political scene will be rather stable. So this is what we're looking at now. And also we can take a lead from the stock market, because the stock market after 1 week instability, volatility, when it opens on 2nd March, the market mostly recovered. And even there is actually the first time and one of the biggest political twists in our Malaysian history. Of course, you can expect it because of the change of government and also new addition members to the current government's sinful counter. For example, Genting, for example, Carlsberg, for example, Heineken took a beating, and some of the shares dropped more than 10%. Okay, so of course, this is the update, and these are ongoing events that we are expecting from now onwards. Now the second one, I would like to take a question is actually from COVID-19. Right? This is actually a question from Victor PJ. So, is it correct one? Sorry, okay, this is the correct one. Coronavirus outbreak is getting more scary. Right? What shall we do? How will it affect our economy and property market? Victor, if you listen to this, I think this is very valid. I think very question, and then a lot of this question lingering on a lot of people's mind. Some update. Things are getting complicated. If you see the recent news, because of the UDA and then Gazana, some of the executives are confirmed positive with the coronavirus, and some of them actually met with in close distance with some of the political figures that we have. So now suddenly the things become two become one. They actually mingle together, coronavirus and also the political instability. So we are watching this, and also up to this moment, 77 countries has already affected by this virus. Total number of people infected with coronavirus is up to 93,000, and we have reported 3,200 death case so far. Of course, to talk about coronavirus, I think everybody have been following and know how to protect yourself. Of course, clean your hand more often, have a good lifestyle habit, wash your hand thoroughly, and also boost your immune system. Now, the other second thing, we are looking at the trend. As now we are looking at the outbreak in China, the outbreak in Italy, the outbreak in Korea and Iran, and actually get a bit scary. But at the same time, the China reporting cases are actually reducing. So how do we actually interpret this trend? I actually saw an article, a short video clip from not a medical doctor, but is a big data analyst. They're showing us how would this coronavirus goes. Let me just share with you some of the insight that I gathered. You see, if you are looking at how this coronavirus will stop, we're looking at possibly three ways. Three ways that we can actually stop this, or actually in a big way to reduce the spread of the virus. Of course, the first one is we can develop the vaccination. Just like polio, once we develop the vaccination, we can have the vaccination in time. Everybody get vaccinated, and of course, this is the fastest way to get the virus to come down. Second one is actually we can come up with the drug to fight against the virus. So we can have a drug that actually is effective enough to fight against the virus. This is another turning point. But the third one, I think a lot of people may not thought of it, but it's being shown and reflected in China's situation. This virus is very contagious, but we know the way how it transmits. If everybody can put together example, taking a leaf of what China is doing now. So even China, such a big country with great population, as it goes now, the number of cases reported and infected is actually reducing. I think this is largely due to the awareness people are having. And second thing is due to the quarantine system, shut down the cities, stopping or greatly reduce at least the human traffic to come across various cities. So I think if you're looking at this way, while we're waiting for vaccination, of course, second thing is the drugs. But the third we can do within our end, as at least from a government point of view, is actually quarantine, also to reduce the human traffic moving around. If this proven to be one of the fastest way, because As you know, virus can only live outside our body in the less than 2 to 3 weeks maximum. So if this one, the virus cannot find a host, they cannot actually survive outside for that long. Okay. Of course, coronavirus scared most of us, sweeping our feet, and because of all the uncertainties, we don't know how serious it will get. But let's think about this. I always like to think everything happen has two sides, just like a coin has two sides. If the impact of COVID-19, the coronavirus, of course, the first industry that feel it is tourism, restaurant, cruise, airlines, but it actually helped company that producing mask, glove, sanitizer, and in fact, you're looking at apps. There are people ordering food delivery from apps. They have double, triple, or even increased their business tenfold. So I just remember me of one example I saw. When the smartphone comes out, okay, it kills TV. When the smartphone comes out, it kills newspaper. Actually, in fact, this morning I've just seen another famous old brand newspaper in Australia shutting down because not enough subscriber. And we also see when handphone comes out, it kills camera. But the popularity, as more and more people using smartphone, you can see the other industry are booming. You can see the games, the apps developers, because they are the ones coming to here. So the point is, COVID-19 or coronavirus outbreak is very much at a great extent beyond our control. But if you can just move ourselves and take a step back, I think from an investor point of view is what are the one industry can be actually benefited per se, but I would say have a positive impact from this outbreak. Of course, the one we are looking at the moment, immediate one will be the food delivery I mentioned to you, and the glove, the sanitizer. But what about property? I think property is a very big topic, but what I'm looking at now is actually easier monetary policy, in terms of interest cut, and I will talk more about this later because I actually have another question come in. So without further ado, let me go to this next question come up. Is it correct one? Yeah. So this is actually a question coming from Joel. Joel, if you are watching, hi to you and many of you. Joel is actually from Sabah. So in this question, Joel said, the Bank Negara has just reduced the OPR by 25 basis points. Actually, what's OPR? What it means to us? Us could be depositor or borrower. And I also heard US just cut the interest rate too. So in order to answer your question, just stay back. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back very soon. Hi everyone, welcome back to the sessions. As mentioned, the question here, the Bank Negara just reduced OPR by 25 basis points. What's OPR? What it means to us? And what about the US part? Now, let's come to this. OPR has reduced by 0.25% as announced yesterday. And in fact, early this morning, actually late last night, our US Central Bank, which is the Federal Reserve, also announced 0.5% rate cut, but that one is called Fed Fund rate. So discount rate actually. So what it means, OPR reduction of 0.25%, we can look at it from 2 points of view. Of course, people who rely on fixed deposit as a monthly income, they are seeing a drastic drop in terms of the interest. And people actually have mortgages, especially, that is based on a flexible rate. In fact, these are the people who are enjoying because they're getting lower installment. OPR cut by itself is one thing, but if you look at how this has been going and also where it's heading, I think the important highlight we can actually look at it is for the past 1 year, the past 12 months, our bank, Negara, the central bank, has actually reduced our OPR 3 times. Each time is by 25 basis points. It times 3, it's become 0.75% or 75 basis points. This momentum is actually unseen for the past 12 years. The last time you've seen this kind of 3 interest rate cut in 12 months is actually during the peak of subprime crisis. The global financial crisis started from US and actually swept the whole world under its feet. Okay, this is actually one of the things we are looking at where it had happened. But at the height of the global financial crisis started from subprime, our rate is as low as 2%, our OPR. Now, the US now is about 1 to 1.25%, and the lowest interest rate that time compared to subprime is Federal Reserve actually cut until 0.25%. So, but as you can see, after the announcement of Federal Reserve last night, the US market was cheered up a bit, but subsequently it dropped all the way down and closed 700 over points below. So it dropped close to about 800 points. So I think the signals brought up to the market is, it not be conclude, but I think the potential signals sending to the market is that for this time, the coronavirus, the impact is actually greater than most people anticipated at the beginning. So with this kind of concern and worries, the rate cut itself, first of all, it may not be sufficient. Second, the quantum of it may not be sufficient. And the frequency of it, they probably will require more in order to revive the economy. So if you are looking at this, this is actually part of the quantitative easing measurement. Quantitative easing measurement is QE. I give you one example. Malaysia mortgage rate. I actually have a mortgage as well. So if I look at the 12-month difference that I have, compared to 12 months where my mortgage effective rate basically is the BR plus the spread. So if different bank have different BR, different banks have different spread, but eventually their effective rate are quite comparable. So if I look at my actually LO, I checked my LO, letter offer last time. A year ago I was paying 4.45% for my mortgage. And now, because of the adjustment, a drop of 0.75%, my effective rate now currently is 3.7. So from 4.45 drop to 3.7 is a drop of 0.7%. So I have 2 options now. Is of course I enjoy better installment. The installment come close to about 600 ringgit. 600 ringgit. Now, this one way is I can enjoy the 600 ringgit. I have extra so-called cash flow 600 ringgit because my rate has been adjusted downward. Therefore, my installment reduced as well. The second things I can do as a mortgage borrower is if I can refinance and cash out a certain portion of the equity in the house. So in this case, if I'm looking to cash out 140,000 to 150,000, okay, I put in 30 years lah, okay, but I will be still paying the same installment like what I did 1 year ago. So 2 options, I stay put, I'm actually saving 600 ringgit installment a month, or I can cash out the equity of my house and getting an instant cash 150,000 by paying the same installment amount. But either one of these, of course it is talking about me as an individual, but if a lot of people are having this kind of effect, felt, I'm talking about more liquidity. So this actually in one of the most obvious way, how a reduction in interest rate can help to spur the willingness of people on spending, the willingness of people to invest, the willingness of people to expand their business. So this one is, I think I can help to answer the question, Joel. So Malaysian point of view, reduction in OPR, how would it affect the market? Of course, Federal Reserve also. And before I forget, sometimes a country, their hands are tied if they are the only countries have to adjust the interest rate downwards, because when they adjust the interest rate downward, there will be outflow of fund to other countries. But if US are doing it, Singapore are doing it, China are doing it, Malaysia is doing it, we actually doing it in quantum, in a collective way. We are seeing first a bigger quantitative measurement in a collective way, but also second that they give more hand on individual countries to adjust the rate downwards, so that they actually by a big quantums preventing the outflow of fund just because of one single individual countries is reducing the interest rate. Okay. So of course, stay tuned. Other than the OPR, the next one we actually have to look at is the statutory requirement ratio. That means how much the bank need to keep in their reserve before they can lend out. So the second thing we look at is if the bank in future decide to declare a reduction of statutory requirement reserve or reserve requirement ratio, the percentage of how much the bank has to cap in the reserve system that cannot lend out. If they are reducing this one, it means that the more liquidity will be injected to the market as well. I think we are, other than the OPR reduction, the RRR, reserve requirement ratio, is the next one we should keep an eye on. Okay, so we're coming to the last question. This is actually a very interesting question. It's not directly related to property, but IQI is beyond real estate. So I think it had caught everybody's eyes, and also I think it's a good platform for us to discuss about it. Okay, this is a question posed by whom? Posed by Lingian from PJ. So Lingian, if you're watching this, here's my thought on this. So she asked, I saw Asia promotion. I think everybody saw it on the Facebook, on newspaper, or whatever. I think 488 with unlimited 1-year flight to, of course, selected destination. Of course, he's concerned about Asia. Maybe she want a big shareholder. How can Asia make money? But as a consumer point of view, should I take this promo? Okay, whether you should take this promo, I think it's subject to a lot of things. People are a lot concerned that if you travel now, you're actually spreading the virus along the way because you're part of the human, they are trafficking, among these places. But if you just put that side alone, I'm looking from business and investment analysis point of view, is first of all, why does Asia come up with this promotion? Of course, as a big company like Asia, they don't do things without due diligence. I think it's shared by one of the Facebook marketing guru, Adrian, you have watched that. He said that actually we actually have actuarial behind also to calculate the risk and reward system, the cost and the profit system. First of all, by doing this, collecting the 488 ringgits from you, it actually presents two things. The first, we cannot deny that airline business is in the downtime now, right? Because people are scared to travel. When in a downtime, a lot of business look not concentrating on business revenue. There's one thing, but the second thing is more important is when in downtime, business are actually focused, they actually look towards more on the cash flow, because in a downturn, cash flow is king. All right. By collecting this 488, it may not seem a lot, but when you have millions of people, it actually provide a healthy cash flow upfront to any single business entity. So in this case, it's Asia. Second thing, the 488, if you are in the investment, there's a derivative product. There's actually not much different than a derivative product. It allows you to enter an option agreement with Asia. That means that you pay the 488, this is the premium you pay for the options, but you can exercise your right, the options right later, if you decide to go to different country as specific stipulated in the terms and condition. Now, how would I think about this is, of course, and this is from Asia point of view, they actually get the cash flow upfront, and also they also would be thinking that some of the people may not be exercised the right. So, second thing, from consumer point of view is, yes, you get a free flight. But the free flight does not include the luggage, it does not include the tax, it does not include the accommodation, and as well the local traveling as well. So think about this, even I give you the free flight, and assuming all coronavirus subside already, even you are free to travel without the concern of being infected with the virus, but how many times can you travel? Because even giving you the free flight, all the costs that I mentioned to you, the luggage, the tax, the accommodation, the local traveling from driving from your house to the airport and the parking there, it all costs money. So it may not as seen as free as you want. So if you people just come back again, and there actually a cost associated to each flight. So in other words, even it's free flight, unlimited flight per year, people may not be traveling to the max. Okay. Second thing, if you go to overseas, whether they go to Hokkaido or when you go to Australia, when you go there, you actually have to spend money as well. You spend on food, you spend money on logistic traveling, you spend money to buy a ticket to go to certain places. So actually it burns a hole into your wallet as well as a traveler. And we feel that we come back, when we see our credit card bill, if you're using the credit card, you see the credit card bill next month, it actually discourages you to travel again, even though you have signed up on the unlimited flight. I think this is one thing that from business point of view we are looking at. Second of all, I think majority of us are Malaysians employee, right? Even though it's unlimited flight, but the second question you need to ask yourself, how many off day you get from your boss? How many pay leave you can get, pay or unpaid leave you can get from your company? Even this Asia allow you to travel unlimited. So looking at this, there's another parameter, there's another formula the airline is looking at. Even it's unlimited flight, most of the individual has limited holiday leave. Most of the people have limited amount in their wallet because traveling, even with free flight ticket, it costs money. Third, children are not entitled. Below 12, non-big members, you are not entitled to this. So if you want to bring along your kids, yes, these kids are actually have to pay the normal fee as charged by the airline. Sometimes this is the same strategy business are using if you're going to a restaurant, kids eat for free kind of thing, but this one, the balik. Okay, that means that you have a paying adult going in, but you get a complimentary meal for the kids. This one is the adult is flying free. You don't have to pay except the fees that are luggage and tax that you mentioned. The children actually have to pay the full fees as normal passenger. Last but not least, when everyone feels safe to fly to certain places, you can see the number of people going to book and they decide to fly. But the maximum the flight Asia can accommodate is the number of seats within the flight. So there's always a first come first serve. That means that if the flight is already full, even though you have actually purchased the 488, so-called the option, right? you have to look for another flight. So it's not an unlimited business cost to the airline. It's actually a very calculative, a very safe side. So the max, if they can take 500 passengers in one flight, that's it. The rest, the one who book later, they have to move on to the next. So yes, as mentioned to you, this is not very 100% related to property. I'm just sharing my thought is how the airline, why the airline promote this, and how should you, whether you are a shareholder of an airline, which is the Asia, or you're a consumer from the Asia, this is how you approach this kind of promotion. This is my thought on this. So we pretty much come to the end, and I appreciate your time you spend with me. If you have further questions, post it here. If I can pick it up, or you can text me if you know me, then we'll come back to more on this. Okay, thank you very much. I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to check out even more fun, entertaining, awesome content, please log on to our IQI Network website. And please don't forget to subscribe to our IQI official YouTube channel for the latest update and contents. I see you all there.